we'll deal with that later. So basically, I was working on a. Actually, I'll show you guys. It's kind of some shit, but I was trying to figure out my shit for like a fucking this other section of the world that I hadn't really worked on, because I actually did like a fair amount of development for like the Jerkor and their all their shit and like their city and like the surrounding area and stuff. But I gotta figure out the Rise Arc, like the forest. I want to do like this was just like, as you can see, a very very rough concept. I kind of want to. I was like looking at some references, like in the forest, in the jungle. I got a lot of stuff in like Thailand and Sri Lanka and stuff like that because I was looking up like forest monasteries because these people have like monks and shit. Um, but anyway, so I was looking at stuff like that, and I was like saw this really cool like castle or temple or something up like on like a hill, like up on a like up a hill. I'm like, that gave me some ideas. So I'm like, a castle on a hill would be dope. Because I don't really, I was thinking at like, the first thing in my head is just like the typical medieval castle with like the moat, like a square, like a castle town, all that stuff. And I'm like, I don't really think that fits this race. So, and I was like, yeah. Anyway, this is why you need to look at reference. I always think I don't know what I'm doing, and then I realize it's like, yeah, you wonder why you can't invent stuff. Well, it's because like nobody can really invent stuff. You have to look. You have to look at stuff. You have to get inspiration. Especially if you're like me and you just never do environment art. Let me look up environment art forest. I mainly just need to get used to like just putting down lines that make sense. Alright, this one looks pretty cool. I'll do this one. Can I drag it in here? No. Okay. Alright, whatever. Let's go. So you got some trees. Also, I've been trying to do it like... I've been coming at my environments like completely different from my characters. Like, I'm very used to line art. I'm not used to like painting, right? Like, I'm not used to like just using colors and brushes and stuff. I'm used to like putting down like actual lines. But I've been going at environment art completely differently. But I think because I was like kind of reviewing some of the drawfee ones, and Nathan was doing like one really good environment piece, and he's just using line. I'm like, I don't know why I think I'm required to use like shape and color to do environments just because they're environments, even though it's not what I'm used to. Yeah, I think like the hardest part for environments for me is the I was gonna say inventation. That's not a fucking word. Anyway, the hardest part for me is inventing. And again, that just comes from not having enough hours of drawing shit. Like, the more you draw shit from reference, the easier it is to invent stuff from your brain. Because the more you draw, the more crap there is in your brain to draw from. It's somewhere in there. And like, yeah, if you look at stuff, like that still goes in your brain, but like, unless you're like really consciously thinking about it. Like, I try as an artist to just like, whenever I see stuff and look at stuff, to try to like retain it or try to like have my brain learn it, but it's not quite the same as actually sketching. I just need some freaking man hours of sketching from reference. Yeah, see, like already this looks so much better than any shit I've done before, because I'm using reference. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of archways and shit. Like, This is actually kind of perfect. I mean, it's the other thing I don't really like about... I can't really see that too well. Nor do I remember what I was saying. Oh, I run out of space. I run out of space. That's okay. This is just the study. I need to do studies. But yeah, archways. I'm definitely thinking archways. A lot of archways for these like monasteries and castles, and just like the general style of architecture for these people. I like some archways. Like also playing Guild Wars and Janthier Wilds and like the ruins in that map. I'm like, I was kind of thinking that as well. Like, I don't know. I think the problem is like whenever I do draw from reference, I feel like, yeah, it goes well. But then again, when I sit down to do it from my imagination, I don't feel like the skills I used drawing from reference carry over. But again, I think, or at least I hope, it's just like a matter of just need to do it more. Like, I mean, getting good at anything is hours. I think I think my especially my I saw somebody else saying this recently, like about their ADHD brain, like refusing to do stuff if you weren't like instantly good at it. And it definitely feels like a theme of my life. Like I've always just, I mean, since I was a kid, I always wanted to take like the easy path. I wanted to skip all the hard work of like practice and just be able to just do stuff magically. And that's like kind of the problem. Part of the problem with like where I've ended up with my art is like thinking I can just do stuff without putting in the hours. And the stuff that I have put hours in is like all just the same stuff. Like I was talking to somebody about how I'm struggling with environment art, and I was like, you know what it is? It's literally just I refuse to accept that it's the fact that I just don't have hours of doing environment art, and like 90% of the... I'm gonna check on this and make sure the latency is still good. Okay, looks like we're still smooth. But yeah, like 95% of my drawing has just been drawing like people and characters. But then even on that, like I struggle with poses and stuff unless I'm doing it from a reference, right? And it's like, that's because like 95% of the time you've been drawing in your life, you just draw a person standing straight on, head on, standing straight, looking forward, standing like just normal. And it's like, you're not doing poses. Like, it's not like I haven't done them. Like, I've done life drawing. And like relatively recently, I was like literally looking up pose references online and just like cranking out gesture drawings, but still, like the number of hours I think that I put into that pales by comparison to just, yeah, I mean, like the majority of the time when I'm drawing for fun in my free time, it's just like, this is either a character's face or a character in a very static pose. And it's like, that's why I struggle with doing poses, and why when I did my comic that I did, Project Blackfire, one of the biggest criticisms I got was like about the anatomy. And it's like, why is the criticism the anatomy? Anatomy is what I do best. Like, that's what I spent like 90% of my time doing art doing. It's like, well, because you're doing poses and you're doing them in like smaller boxes. Although digitally it helps because you can expand that out a lot, so it doesn't feel like you're just drawing in this tiny little box. But still, you know, it's constrained. It's a smaller area, and then you're doing a pose that you're not familiar with drawing because you don't draw poses enough. And then on top of that, you're not using a reference. That's the biggest mistake I made with my comic, is just not using reference. I'm trying to do everything from my head, basically. And it's like, I don't think that the art is bad in my comic at all. Like, the one guy, he's like, oh, I don't think it's very good. I'm like, well, that's not really helpful. But no, I think it's pretty good still, like, all things considered. And the fact that I was literally doing 100% of the work myself. Like, I was doing all the writing, all the drawing. Like, all the draft, and when I say drawing, I mean all the drafting, all the penciling, all the inking, all the coloring, like, everything. And, like, yeah, there was a time where I was doing that, like, where I was, like, unemployed, and I was literally just trying to focus on my comics. So I was doing that, like, for at least, like, I don't know, 3-4 hours every day. But still, it definitely could have been a lot better. But that's kind of like my goal with this fantasy comic is to, like, take some of that pressure off. Like, I got a full-time job now. I work 6 days a week. Like, I would love to continue doing Project Blackfire, but I really just don't have the time right now. Maybe if I get to a point with my job where I'm, like, finishing, like, really early, I can do it. Like, that's already better now than it was. I'm, like, not really doing overtime and shit, but... Alright, now the question, do I want... This looks pretty good. Do I want to do... I mean, yeah, I can fill it out more. But, yeah, do I want to do, like, push this further? Or do I want to move on to a new study and just, like, crank more of these out? Because, like, I'm not really trying to go for, like, a finished piece or anything right now. These are just studies. I guess it's up to me. How do I feel? I mean, I do feel like there's a lot more I can do here. Like, I want these to be quick studies, but I should try to get the most out of it, huh? This is like a wall, but, like, there's not a lot of detail because it's mostly just like a block of shadow. There actually is supposed to be a tree, like, here, but considering I didn't do it, like, I haven't been trying to draw this, like, exactly like the reference I'm using. So there's, like, a bit of a tangent. See, is this doorway kind of lines up. But anyway, there's a tree here, which you can see, but there's actually, that's mostly in shadow as well. Then some like little stairs here. There's actually some, like, little stairs over here as well, but they're off screen. And then this is just like a big block of shadow. Trying to, like, I think with environments, it's probably gonna be helpful to learn to do, like, blocks of shape and shadow. Alright, maybe I'll put some color in this. Do some color. Let's do some color. But it's not really going to be right at all. Or it's not going to look right at first. Just trying to get some color in here. I mean, technically all of this should be green because I got... Because in the photo I have, like, this is all forest behind here up to, like, here-ish. And then it's still forest, but it's, like, you know, much more in the distance. And then there's some, like, trees here-ish. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, this is Clip Studio. I normally use Photoshop. I've only really used, like, Clip Studio, like, a handful of times. But this is a new computer. And and I was looking for I got to reinstall Photoshop, but I was looking for my disk, my Photoshop disk, because I am not paying for a fucking subscription, that scam ass bullshit. So I have like I literally have a copy of Photoshop from like, oh god, I don't even know when, 2010 or some shit. But now that I'm using it, I actually like, I know there's actually some cool shit that like Clip Studio has that Photoshop doesn't. First, it's got like a nice selection of brushes. It's got some nice brushes. It has an asset store where you can download more brushes. I've just been like adding like free ones. But yeah, I like it. Asset store, board brushes. Because yeah, I'm used to just basically doing everything with just like the same brush. I definitely like brushes is a good thing to try to dive into a little bit more. But also the video I was just watching, she was like, yeah, let's try not to have that be like a crutch. Like, see if you can actually do it without relying on the brush being like a special brush or whatever. Actually, I'm not gonna do that, as this is more in the distance. Although I would have to kind of draw that a little bit. I have trouble drawing, like, that's another thing I have trouble with, like, environments, is drawing, like, detail. No, this is like pretty broad strokes still. This is too saturated here. I don't know just like what this color is exactly. Maybe it's a little more yellow. Yeah, as I said, I'm not trying to be perfect. This is just like a study. If I try to be perfect, I'm not getting like the most efficient like amount of hours of practice out of this. Alright, I'm gonna move on to start a new one soon. But I like this. Yeah, this is, I think it's helping me. I think so. I bloody hope so. I feel like I also just get kind of lazy when I do environments. Like even right now, I'm like, I could be doing more detail. But, I mean, in this case, I think it's okay because, as I said, it's a study. I'm trying to get like the most effective, efficient amount of practice and type of practice as I can. And like, yeah, I have trouble with detail, but I think like that's something I can improve on more later. All right, we're gonna start a new one. That's not too bad. I'm gonna go save that. I like that. What do we save it as? Just study, forest, temple, 01 or something. I don't know. All right, let's do a new one. Let's do a new document here. I'll show you guys what I'm looking at. Yeah, that's the other thing about references that I don't really like is, oh, that's what I was gonna say earlier. I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, like the other thing I don't like about trying to find reference is trying to actually find reference. That's at all what I'm like looking for. You have to go through so much. Let's see, what do we like? Here's some like town shit. I feel like this kind of has the vibe I'm going for, but anyway, I don't know. I'm not really seeing stuff I like. This is why I don't. This is why I don't look up reference when I need to look up reference, because it's a lot of looking through stuff that does not fit what you want. Man, I don't even. Like, if I even saw stuff that I feel like would inspire me, I'd be like at least saving it, even if it's not what I want to draw right now. But I'm not really feeling any of this. This is, doesn't like me. It's definitely something I need to improve, like need to work on too. Oh, hey, yeah, something like this maybe. I was saying I want like a castle on a hill. All right, let's do this. I'm gonna stop being indecisive and pick something. All right. So you got. I'm gonna try to. Oh, you know what? I realized this is not the right. Oh gosh, or even they're gonna have to break it down and like limit myself because it's not the right, ratio. Or yeah, I'm gonna have to do it either smaller or change my canvas. Whatever, I don't care. Just to study. I just want to get some stuff down. Oh, sorry guys, I realized I didn't change it back to my canvas. Yeah, see, like half a canvas now. I probably could have done it in like the middle or something. Whatever. I need a smaller brush. Okay. Actually, let me work on some of these like smaller shapes. The trees that make up the. I have trouble with architecture. I think my eye has trouble breaking down exactly what the structure is. Just see like a lot of lines. Okay, so there is like this shape. I'm trying to break it down instead of just like drawing lines, because you can't exactly do your own if you don't know how to. Oh, I just realized that's way too big. This might be a problem trying to draw on the canvas this small. Alright. And you got tower, tower, tower. Yeah, I ran out of space again. It's probably something I should. No, this is not fucking right at all. Maybe I should have just used the whole canvas. No, that is probably something I should care about, considering I was saying composition's so important. Composition's so important, but I'm not actually getting the composition right at all if I can't fit it on my canvas. But I have the same problem when I draw characters. I'm just like, oh, and I run out of space. Oh, you got these mountains in the background. composition's not fucking right at all. I should probably just start this over again. I mean, all this is proving is that I can draw lines from a reference, but if I'm trying to improve on composition, I gotta, let's redo this. Delete your art, as the Drawfee people like to say. Delete your fucking art, bitch. Alright. I want to say I'll just use the whole canvas, but if it's not the right ratio. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. That on the right looks about right. No, a little less. Is that right? I'm trying to eyeball it. I think that's about right on the right here. I'm lazy to resize my canvas. I'm just gonna. Alright, so again, you got the lake. Oops, change back to my pen. You got the lake here. Actually, it almost comes to the edge. You got the lake. Actually, it does come to the edge, technically. And then, let's see, there's like a tree across here. I guess it's in like the foreground. Oh man, I definitely get lazy drawing stuff. I gotta draw these frickin' leaves. Okay, no, we're just worried about composition right now. Hold up, I'm not gonna get into the weeds. Literally the weeds right now. I'll fix details later. I think I drew that. No, I definitely drew that way too fucking big. Can I just? Hold up. I'm not used to the shortcuts. Alright, and then just go across here, and then these trees here. Alright, I'm just trying to get composition. Don't pay attention to the shoddy line work right now. I'm just trying to get where this goes, where everything goes, before I get detailed. And then the front shore of the lake. And then this massive hill. I think I still somehow ran out of space here. Unless the castle's super tiny, which it's not. Then I still fucked up somehow. I mean, I have space for everything except the mountains. Yeah, that's not right at all. I don't know why I have issues. I mean, I don't really have issues with composition when I'm doing it myself, but reference. I have trouble matching up. You know what you used to do is you used to do like a grid. If you ever wonder why they draw like the fucking lines like this on their paper and shit, it's so that they can, and then they draw the line, those same lines, that same grid on the thing that they're drawing from. It's because it helps with that. You're like, you can know for sure that nothing is in this top right corner. Actually, literally just doing that, I already see what I did wrong. I think these trees are supposed to be significantly below, or like right below the halfway point. All right, that's fine. I'm gonna prioritize here and just say that I gotta do something, so I'm just gonna keep drawing, even though it's not perfect to the reference. Again, it's a study, it's not a final piece, and the point, although getting the composition right would be good, because as I said, that's something I want to improve. If I can't do that, or it's gonna take me too long to get it just right, let's just practice other stuff that we can practice. So there's another hill here. And then, yeah, there's still the fucking mountains back here, but there's kind of this ridge. I can't see that mountain behind the tree, so I guess I'll just lower it. I mean, normally it wouldn't even really matter, because I'm not like really trying to copy the reference. The only reason I was like a little thinking, the only reason I was trying to is because, as I said, like composition is like a thing. But like, I guess if I can't get it just right, at least the composition should be, at least if it's a good composition. And like what I have here is not too bad. Honestly, it's just a little bit more, you're looking up at it a little bit more, right? Because this isn't the top, it's smaller. So you're very much looking up at it. All right, oh, I just realized those are houses. These little tiny little houses here. Anyway, like I said, I'm past the point of trying to copy it. So what we're using this is to like, what we're doing right now is using it for like just drawing details and drawing the things that are in the reference without worrying super much like exactly where they are. I'm actually going to go looser and looser with the reference as I go. And I'm just going to try to draw things that are in my reference. Like, of course, my castle is going to have a lot less detail because it's a lot smaller up here. I'd like to improve my ability to draw details on castles and buildings, but basically what I'm saying is just trying to focus on like a couple things at a time and trying to prioritize. It's not too awful. Maybe I'll draw like a little cloud up here or something. Yeah, we're like completely different from the reference now, but that's fine. The point of a study, in this case, is to use it to draw, to practice. Like really what I'm doing is I'm practicing like the parts, kind of. Like, oh, how to draw a tree, how to draw like a, yeah, like this is like a big hill, which has like a bunch of either like a shit ton of trees or like a shit ton of like, I can't really actually tell, shit ton of trees or a shit ton of moss on it. Yeah, there's some like little bushes. There's a dude on a horse. Are we gonna draw the dude on a horse? I'm gonna draw the dude on a horse. I really shouldn't be like thinking about detail too much, but we're drawing the dude on the horse. And apparently making him look a little bit more like a centaur. Okay, he's a centaur now. Fuck it. Anyway, yeah, a lot of this detail is hard to see. I'm not sure if these little things are rocks or houses. Some of them are actually houses. Other than the ones along here, I'm not sure. I also literally just saw that there's like a bridge, or more of like a under. I don't know if it's a. I guess it's a bridge. You can't really see the top part of the bridge. You can just see like, you're basically just seeing this like underpass part of it, like the arch, and the water goes like under there. I guess it's a bridge, but you can't really tell that well from the photo. It just looks like a brick or, you know, stone arch with the lake flowing under it. Although I guess kind of what I'm practicing here, considering I'm drawing a lot less of the detail, is like, how do you draw an environment simplified? Especially because a lot of times I am, especially in a comic, like, you can't draw every freaking line of detail. So it becomes like, how do you simplify? Like, that is definitely something else I need to learn. How do you simplify, especially with environments, without making it look like you just didn't draw anything? It's like, how do you simplify while still making it look like you have a lot of detail? Or making it feel like lived in? Alright, let's get some color in here. Yo, I actually feel good about this. As I said, I think the problem mainly comes from when I'm not drawing from reference. When I'm drawing from reference, like, I can do an alright job. The problem is inventing when I'm not doing reference. Also, I realize I'm not getting this. I'm not really trying to shade or color at all. Maybe I should be trying to get the shadow right. Actually, I like this brush that it's additive like this, because it kind of helps with the shadows. Maybe draw a shadow at least a little bit. If I'm doing this, I should try to get lighting and shadow as well, because that's important for backgrounds, of course. This actually has like some fog rolling down this hill. As I said, this is not perfect, but actually, if anything, I am trying to loosen up a little bit. So that'll be my excuse for why. Yeah, I am trying to loosen up, because that was another criticism I got of stuff, is that just everything was just very like tight and stiff. Like, especially like characters. And I think that is an issue of like line work. I think it's just like a lot of my perfectionism or like anxiety, or I don't know, whatever it is comes across in my line work. It means I'm just like a little too like close in, and yeah, trying to like, I think I also draw very much like move my fingers. And every time I watch something, they're like, use your wrist, like use your whole hand, use your wrist, use your arm, use your shoulder. Like, don't just like all in up close. Like, try to do. Yeah, it's just loosening up. I notice I'm definitely better about it when I'm drawing from reference than when I'm in my head. This, I don't really like the way this brush is. I probably will wrap up soon, even though I've only been like actually doing streaming for like an hour ish successfully. Anyway, but like I said, it's kind of another reason I haven't been streaming. Like, I'm getting used to my new schedule. I'm kind of tired. Trying not to like kill myself, wearing myself out. A lot of this is in like fog. Alright, this is getting kind of shitty. I must be getting tired. Getting a little lazy with my brush strokes. Well, at least I got like one solid, I would say 2 solid studies and 1 study that was solid that I kind of colored like shit, but practice is practice. So yeah, these colors aren't great, but as I said, I must be getting tired. You can tell the quality is suffering a little bit. Oops. Anyway, I hope you all come back and go to my stream again. I know I said like, oh, I'll probably only be streaming like once a week. No, I'm only planning and I'm only scheduling like 1 stream a week because I don't want to feel like pressured or anything, but basically any day I feel like I can stream, I can stream a couple times a week. Not tomorrow night or Friday because I got my Thai class, but maybe Saturday or Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. As I said, I'm just trying to keep things like keep myself like no pressure. All right. I might wrap up early. I think it wore me out just trying to figure out why the stream wasn't working, why the stream was lagging. Man, if I had started on time at like 8 o'clock and everything had been working great, that would have been great, but can't always get what you want. You can't always get what... Let's not get copyrighted. Let's not get copyright infringed. But you know what I'm saying. No, actually, I was gonna start out this. You know what I was gonna start out this stream? Because I was saying like, "What's up, y'all? It's been a while." I was gonna say, "What's up, y'all?" What was it? "What's up, y'all? I know it's been a little while since I've been out the house, and now you're gonna stand around running your mouth." And that's it because I don't want copyright infringement. But if you know, you know. Actually, I don't know why I'm making this one look foggy. This is foreground. Less gray. Too bright. Yeah, no. No, that's shit. Hold up. this is like a little bit too saturated. But I'm trying to practice this thing about like things being in the background being less saturated, and things being in the foreground being more saturated. Also, things in the foreground being darker or brighter, and things in the background being lighter. I'm trying to fix this up a little bit. I know I got like a little bit lazy. I just, your focus level kind of like fluctuates, especially when you're ADHD. Unless you get like just very in the zone and hyperfixate. It's been a very long time since I've like been able to like hyperfixate. All right. Let's see. Yeah, there's a little bit of fog here. I don't know how to do that exactly. But I'm trying to refine this a little bit, because I wasn't fully there the whole time. Should try to get these trees. I know I kind of like blacked them in, but trees are good. I don't remember what the fuck this space here was supposed to be. I guess it's still forest. Okay, let's get it. I can't color pick this because it's on the web and I can't figure out how to bring it in here, but as a result I'm having trouble figuring out what green this is. I can't quite find the right green. It's actually darker in the front here. Is this in shadow? This part is in shadow. It's like very abrupt shadow too. It's like just here. Behind this horse guy. Oh, this is a little bush. I don't know. As I said, this is very loose, but I think it's okay for what I'm trying to do. Actually, loose is good because, yeah, I've just been too like uptight and obsessing about not being able to do environmental stuff, and loosening up is good. Try not to overthink it. Try not to put pressure on myself too much. Oh, this is the reflection here. That's what this. I was just doing this like a shadow. Okay, this is specifically the reflection of the hill and castle down here. Cool. Dope. This doesn't look too bad, does it? I like it, alright. Let me see what it looks like on the stream. Yeah, it's okay. The line work is better than the coloring for sure, but little centaur dude. Castle. I don't know why all castles are like this sand color. Then the roof is more of a gray. Darker than that. And then the roofs of the towers, turrets, whatever. Gray as well. And then of course all this is in shadow. Oops. That's not gonna go darker. I gotta actually go darker. Yeah, that is all in shadow. Actually, all of that's in shadow. And then all of this is in shadow. And then this side of this is in shadow. And then there's some shadow down here. And then all this is in shadow. And then that's mostly in the light, but I don't have enough line detail to really do that. Yeah, like I said, could use some work, but it's a start. Oh, let's get this little bridge in here. All right, I'm gonna wrap up in about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna call it a night. But at least now that I figure out the fucking Twitch lag streaming problem, like, we should be good to go next time. Do some Lotro or more art or whatever it is, I feel like. Actually, you know, it's dark. Is dark on my TV? Is it dark on this? Okay, no, it's not too dark on the stream. I don't know why my TV is like, I feel like my TV is so much darker than, like, it's very bright on my tablet. It's a little bit darker on stream, but pretty bright, and then it's dark as shit on my TV. But anyway. Yeah, that went fairly well, so hopefully do some more. I might do some more, maybe I'll just do some more environment next time. I'd like to, I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, guys, don't forget to follow if you like this, as rambly as it was. Don't forget to follow, please follow, and have a good night, and I'll see you later.